Alrighty, let's try this again. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Facebook says I'm live again. Let's just make sure the audio works. Last time I did not have a microphone set up. Alrighty, let's try this again. Why is there a... Oh, let's see. Let's just make sure the audio works. Okay, so I think that should... Last time I did not have a microphone set up. There we go. Okay, I've done this a few times, a few lives. Obviously, I'm not on the road this time. Sometimes I just throw on my phone when I'm driving, which is, debatable whether that's a good idea or not. Legal, not sure. But here I am in my studio at my desk, and I want to talk about self-imposed limitations. But just thought I'd nerd out and talk about technical stuff for a minute. Last videos I did here with this software, there was a bad echo, so I think I actually killed the echo. There's the default microphone for my computer and this fancy microphone that I have right here. So, out of frame, you can't see it. It's the magic behind. You should see what's happening behind here. It's not very glamorous, but it looks really nice right here. And you may hear a squirrel up there. That's right about there, over there. It's been tittering across the, is that a word? Tittering? Anyway, happy Wednesday morning, 7:39 in the a.m. Wednesday morning. It is the 15th of January. I feel like, what is the 15th? Feels like this is a special day. 28th is my mom's birthday. She's been gone for a while. Anyway, good morning. I am here to tell you a story, and I think it'll be a blessing to you. I think it'll help you to do something in life, at least today, maybe tomorrow, but maybe in your entire life. Maybe it will inspire you to overcome self-imposed limitations, right? So what was the other... what did I put in the description? Limiting beliefs, I think is how I called it. So last night, this is not the story I was going to tell, but it's another story. Last night, Heather and I went over to Faith Family Church, I believe it's called, in Sparta, and went to a special service with a preacher that came into town, and he was talking about the power of your words. I've done that. I will do that a lot more. I will preach on the power of your words. I'm looking at a box of books. I probably have books about that. The Bible is very clear, and that's what we learned about last night from the man of God. All the different scriptures that say, hold your tongue, watch your tongue. If your mom always said, if you don't have anything nice, don't say nothing at all. But really, in the back of our own mind, one of the nuggets, I don't have my notes with me. Yes, I do. One of the biggest takeaways from the service last night was, I just want to look at a few notes because it does pertain. This is not why I'm sharing about self-limiting beliefs. I do have a story about my personal life when I was about 13, 14 years old maybe, that set the course for what I believed was possible about a certain thing. One thing he said was, you can't use thoughts to rule out thoughts. You have to use words, right? How did he say it? You cannot cast down thoughts with thoughts. Use words from the Word, right? So if you're a believer, you sit on the Bible as your ultimate source of truth. You lean on God. If you are not a believer, if you do not rely on God for your source of strength, whatever it is that you channel into your, whether it's yourself or whatever, using your words overcome your thoughts, right? And our thoughts as humans are pretty terrible most of the times. Very, very, very damaging to ourselves. We tell ourselves how we suck and how we're not good enough and how we're ugly and, we're tired and this and that, just whining and moaning. That's the natural behavior of the human brain. And thoughts. Our thought lives are pretty terrible. Your life will never be any better than your thoughts. I've taught about this before, that your thoughts determine your words determine your actions determine your habits determine your character determines your destiny, right? I could go on and on about that, but I will not Worry will open your mind to the devil and sickness, right? So worry comes from your thoughts. Thoughts are overcome by words. So that's where the whole confession thing comes in, right? Telling yourself that you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. So if anyone gets that reference, drop a comment below. Tell me you're with me. Holla if you're with me. I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Not only what show is that from, who was the character, who's the actor of the character as well for bonus points. I don't know what if anybody's getting anything, probably not. So what's my story? Not like my life story, but a story that was part of my life and my self-limiting beliefs. And then I'm going to use my fancy software and switch to a screen share with my video, and I'm going to show you a few things that I think will help drive the point home of eliminating self-doubt, eliminating self-beliefs, self-limiting, self-imposed limitations, yada yada, right? So when I was trying to figure it out, I don't know the exact year, but I lived in Frankfort, Illinois. I was in high school, and I was probably about freshman or sophomore. Let's just call it sophomore, because I was with the Grabelski girls, and we were running for some reason. We were not runners. This is not what we did as friends. They lived across the street, and for some reason, we decided to run. And ultimately, running around Frankfort Square, Illinois, where I spent 7 years of my life going to high school and other things, college, and then my parents moved to Virginia. We ran to the White Hen at the time. We lived off of 80th Avenue, so I remember we ran down 80th Avenue, turned left onto St. Francis Road towards White Hen, and loop around. There was a big hill if you kept going straight, but we busted left and then went around the hill over by White Hen. And I remember running just for exercise because it was a good idea, and it was. It ended up that our course, I don't know if this was the plan. I don't know if Jenny was leading it, my friend Jenny. I vaguely remember that we were running for, I don't know why, I was about 15 years old, and we ran 3 miles-ish. The thing that sticks in my head, and that has to do with self-limiting, self-imposed limitations, 15 years old. Anita Phi, what's up? Anita Phi Kennedy. Good morning. Self-imposed limitations, 15 years old. I am going to be 44 years old in March, right? So I'm 43 years old. So what is that? 30, almost 30 years, 28 years, that since this time when I ran 3 miles in Frankfort Square, Illinois. I don't even live in Illinois anymore. I'm not a teenager. I graduated high school, went through college, got married, had a kid, moved to Tennessee, did a lot of life. 30 years, long time. 30 stinking years since I ran 3 miles. So what does this 3-mile run have to do with self-imposed limitations? Well, I'll tell you, because I'm sure you're dying to know. When I ran 3 miles, because I don't run, I still, to this day, even though I ran this morning, ironically, that's what made me think of it. That was my walrus fit for the day. We didn't have some people show up who bring all the kettlebells, and the stairs on the stadiums are iced over, so we had to just, we did what's called the worst mile ever, where you run around Tennessee Tech in this case, for about a mile. It took about 40 minutes. And no, 35 minutes, I don't know, something, 30, 40 minutes. And every so often, every crosswalk, you stop and do 10 push-ups and 10 air squats. That's the worst mile ever. So we just did that. So I did run today. But I was thinking about not the last time I ran. When I was 15 years old, almost 30 years ago, when I ran 3 miles for God knows what reason, my spine went cold. And I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to be paralyzed. I have flat feet. That was a thing where I would always get a doctor's note as a kid because I have flat feet, and I would never have to run the mile. And it was amazing because I was fluffy back then, I've lost a lot of weight lately, last 2 years, but back when I was a kid and I was shorter, I was like bad obese and not strong yet, and I just hated running, and I had flat feet, and I was fat. And so I got doctor's notes to never have to run the mile, right? Every year or a couple times a year at gym class, you'd have to run the mile and do all the things, right? when I ran 3 miles in Frankfort Square, Illinois, where I hail from originally, my spine went cold. And I just remember, so the self-imposed limitation at that time, 15 years old, it would have been 1996-ish, 95, 96, 97, somewhere in that time frame. 30 almost years ago, I decided that I didn't want to run for exercise, something that's good for me to make me strong, to strengthen my heart, because if I ran, my spine would go cold, because it did that time, right? So I set a belief about myself that I couldn't run because if I ran, my spine would go cold. For 30 years, it's set until I decide that I want to have some discipline in my life and change some things around and push through adversity and do things because I don't want to. Literally, man, I really didn't want to wake up at 5 o'clock today. My alarm went off, and I'm like, I hate you, alarm. And like, I'm not usually like that. I usually can just jump up and slowly, acclimate to the day. 5 a.m. is pretty rough for me. But today was one of those days where I'm like, I don't want to wake up. And then on the way to working out, I got a text that one of the OGs of the group was not going to show up. I knew one of the other OGs was not going to show up because she's been sick. And then my pastor lays up, and he won't see this because he's vehemently against it, social media, so I can say it. He texts and says, "Oh, I just woke up. I'm not going to make it." So the three goats, the three OGs, the three founders of Walrus Fit, in my mind, all laid up. And I wake up at 5 o'clock. I'm like, this sucks. I hate it, but that's why I should do it. That's why I went. And then I get there, and Rebecca's there, and we say, well, what are we going to do? Maybe we should just call it. And I said, no, because, and Ethan pulled up, and he encouraged us to do the worst mile ever. He encouraged us to do it, but it's because I didn't want to do it that I did it. So these days, thank God, praise Jesus, 43 years old, almost 44, I finally figured out how to push past myself, past through my flesh, my mind, my flesh telling me that I shouldn't do this, that you don't need to do it, it's stupid. Self-imposed limitations. 15 years old, my spine went cold when I ran 3 miles. Never again should I run. Well, that's what I told myself. And I was running this morning, and it reminded me of this. It made me think about it because specifically, it was 16 degrees out today. And let me show you, capture this. It's not a screen share capture, but just so you don't think I'm fibbing, that's the screen. Does it show a time? That was from this morning. 16 degrees. That's stupid cold, right? So I'm running the worst mile ever, doing a million push-ups and air squats and running. I hate running. I don't like running, and it's 16 degrees, and that's why I'm doing it, because I shouldn't, or I don't want to, but it's good for my health. So as I'm running in the 16-degree cold and sweating, I feel a cold chill on my spine, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Here we go again. My spine is going cold. And instantly, because I'm so old and wise now, I'm like, wait a minute, no, my spine's not going cold. It's just cold, and my back is sweaty. And there is a chill on my spine because the air is getting into my hoodie, and it's going down my spine where there's sweat, and it's cold. That's a cold spine, right? That's the cold chill on my spine. It's not that I was dying at 15 years old. It's not that I had a cold chill in my. I wasn't going to go paralyzed. I literally, when I was 15 years old and my spine went cold, it was probably just cold out, right? Like, or maybe your body's just freaking out because it's whatever. It's just not used to that. Like, I put a self-imposed limitation on myself at 15 years old that I shouldn't run 3 miles. I specifically remember all these things now. It's been in my head. It's in my spirit. It's been part of my life that I do not run 3 miles because if I do, my spine will go cold. Wouldn't you know it, 43 years old, it's 16 degrees out, my spine went cold, and I'm fine, right? Now I know because, I'm not looking for excuses in life. I know that I can push through the self-imposed limitation that I created when I was just a kid 30 years ago, right? So how many times in our lives do we set limitations on ourselves that are unfounded, that are stupid, that are lies, that are untrue, that are from the devil? Like, you don't have to go spiritual or be crazy about it, but like, how many times do we tell ourselves that we can't do something, that we shouldn't do something, that it's, it's going to hurt, it's going to be painful, it's cold, it's hot, like all day long in my head, in our heads as human beings, we are telling ourselves why we can't do things. So the counter, the antidote, hang on, get my electrolytes from my worst smile ever. The antidote to terrible thoughts, which we do have, which come from all stretches of our lives, 15 years old, cold spine syndrome, can't run, shouldn't run, spine's going to go cold. We have these thoughts. We remember song lyrics that we shouldn't. We everything is in our brains, and it comes out, and it sets a course for what we're going to do in the future. So I would contend that you should push past your... What is going on here? Did I just crash? No. Okay. Good. My app just like disappeared for a second. Oh, yeah. So I would impress upon you, challenge you to push outside of your comfort zone and break down your self-imposed limitations. So I have a meme for you. I'm going to hit this button and it's going to switch to a screen share, and I'm going to show you. Well, I looked up the definition. Self-imposed limitations are restrictions or boundaries that a person chooses for themselves. Chooses. You have a choice. We have free will. Praise God. We have free will. However, free will really sucks sometimes, doesn't it? Because we have the freedom to choose the wrong thing to do, don't we, humans? Examples. I'm going to ChatGPT for those. I want to show you this meme real quick. So it's a pirate with a parrot on his shoulder, and the parrot says, "Hey, wait a minute, I can fly. What the heck am I doing here?" He has a self-imposed limitation that he's supposed to be sitting on the shoulder of a pirate his whole life and be a captive. So are you the parrot on the shoulder of the pirate because of your self-imposed limitations in life? And then I looked up memes and stuff, and these are stupid. All limitations are self-imposed. All, like, these aren't even like, Gandhi or somebody smart. Like Ernest Holmes, he really said that? Are you sure? There we go. Here's a good visualization. Limiting beliefs. It's a chain we put around our own ankle, right? Have you ever felt in life like you are bound by the weight of your own decisions, of your own thoughts, of your own words, of your own beliefs about yourself? It's like this ball of weight is on your ankle, holding you back from doing what you want in life. So I would challenge you, first of all, know what you want in life. If you don't know what you want in life, get with someone who's smarter than you, that believes in you, that is going to uplift and encourage you. Get with the Lord, pray about it, think about it, whatever you do to find the answers in life. Figure out what you want in life, and then don't accept no for an answer. It may not make sense in the natural, but if you speak it, believe it, work towards it, it will happen. Cut this chain. Cut the chain. Get a stinking chainsaw and get these limiting beliefs off your ankle. Trash the thoughts in your head that are holding you back. So you could imagine your brain is filled with good and bad, right? So let's say it's 50-50. It's probably 80% bad, 20% good. Let's just say you emptied your brain. Now, there's nothing in your brain, so it can't be good or bad. What you choose to refill it with. So number one, remove all the bad. Number two, refill it with good. So instead of 80-20 mix of bad to good, maybe if you emptied your brain every day, refresh your mind. There's scripture about this, renewing your mind every single day, every moment, every minute. Like for me, sometimes with a day, I need to refresh every minute. So empty your brain of all that you think is and fill it with good things. So instead of 80% negative, 20% positive thoughts, empty your brain. Just kind of take a breath. Have gratitude. Fill your brain with gratitude. I'm thankful for this office. I'm thankful I don't have the wind. I'm thankful this squirrel isn't jumping out of the ceiling and biting my face off. I'm thankful that I had a hoodie. I'm thankful that I got to work out. I'm thankful that I woke up this morning. I'm thankful I have a home that I could sleep in, a bed, a warm bed, a loving family. Like, fill your head with positive what's the opposite of it? Anyway, whatever the opposite of self-imposed limitations, remove them and tell yourself what you can do, not what you can't do. Let's see. No, that's stupid. These are bad. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me some examples of self-imposed limitations. And I'm going to move this over, y'all. There we go. So, self-imposed limitations. Number one, I must do everything perfectly. Is anybody a perfectionist? Any perfectionists in the house? Raise my hand. Guilty. Perfectionist. There's scripture about that we pursue excellence. We pursue doing things well, but to be perfect is impossible. Why it's limiting. Perfectionism can paralyze you into inaction because you're afraid of making mistakes or being judged. Is anybody scared of being judged? I say I'm not, but everybody is at the core of themselves. But if you understand the truth about life and study God's word, you know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made and you're perfect in his image. We are sinners and we are not perfect people, but we are made to be perfect in the image of God. So, striving for flawlessness can also stifle creativity and prevent you from taking healthy risks. I just yesterday recorded the audio for a VSL, a video sales letter, that I'm going to be using for my business after probably 3 or 4 weeks of kicking it down the road because I wasn't sure what to say. And then I had to tell myself, just say something and see how it resonates. You'd be surprised if you do something, how well it will go. And then if it doesn't, then you can adjust and redo it and do another take. You can iterate is the fancy word for it, right? Change over time, adjust, redo things. If you do something that stinks, do it again that's better. And then that's going to stink too eventually. And then you're going to, let's watch this. Look at this. I'm going to show you my YouTube channel because I put a video on there like 15 years ago, and it needs to be updated. Like at the time it was fine, but everything needs to be updated. So let me see here. I'm showing you this just because I saw it yesterday and I'm like, I gotta update that. I have like 500 YouTube channels because I'm such an influencer. So if I go to my homepage of Joe Kalis YouTube channel, you'll see a video that needs to be updated. How do I go to my channel? So the point is that I need to update this. We are constantly in a state of things needing to be updated. I don't know. This didn't work out how I wanted it to. I'm trying to find my channel. I don't know how to just click my channel. This is stupid. I don't know. Here we go. View your channel. There we go. If only it said view your channel. That would be so easy. Look at this. Look at this picture. Look at me. Fluffy. I had no facial hair. Look at this video. This is the video that's on my YouTube channel right now. No facial hair. This is from 11 years ago. Point is that this was fine at the time, but we can always change things. These links don't work. This is all trash, right? So if I were a perfectionist, I'd be like, oh my gosh, this video is from 11 years ago. This is my basement in Wheeling. I don't live there anymore. I weigh less. I don't have, this video's doesn't look like me. I don't even know what I'm saying. I could be a perfectionist and not do anything, but yesterday I recorded a video because it's V1, right? You can make V2, V3, V4, V5. You can iterate and create new versions of whatever you're doing, actions, words, thoughts. You can just do something, and if it's blessed, it will be blessed, and then you don't need to change it. But if it needs to be changed, then you can change it. It's okay. Don't be a perfectionist, says the perfectionist. I don't have enough talent or skills. Well, you have the option to learn a new skill. How about it? Self-imposed limitations. That is a very, very, very real thing here in the South. I moved to the South, and there's a lot of blue collar where they work incredibly hard as contractors or whatever. Like blue collar, work with your hands sort of things. And it's not enough money. It's too much time. There's a limitation. You can only be so good. There's, like in corporate America, there's, the glass ceiling, like how far can you, your career trajectory. Like if you're a contractor, your career trajectory ends at being your own boss and doing the thing that you like doing. So if that is not providing you enough money, enough time with your family, if it's busting up your body and your shoulders and your hands, and like physically it's killing you, perhaps instead of saying I don't have enough talent or skills to do something else, perhaps you jump onto YouTube and learn a new skill. You cannot use I don't know how to do that as a stinking excuse anymore, because you can go on YouTube. I literally learned how to do marketing from YouTube and podcasts in 2013. 2013 was 12 years ago now. I didn't know what a landing page was. I didn't know what an opt-in was. I didn't know what happens when you put your email in a form on a website. And it happened, and I learned a new skill and became a marketer and changed my entire life trajectory because I learned a skill. And within marketing, AI is a new skill. Social media is a new skill. SEO is a new skill. I'm learning new skills in my craft because that's what I want to do with my life. I feel I'm gifted in that, and I can help other people do it. It's provided a lot of money and a lot of flexibility. So I have a wonderful career where I can do as much or as little as I want as a self-employed marketer and make a ton of money. And if I don't have the skill, if all these tools go away, if social media, Facebook shuts down tomorrow, YouTube, I will have to learn more skills to do it. So that's not a limitation in my life. Being a marketer, it's never going to stop being an option because I don't have the skills. If I wanted to be a nurse, I could go to nursing school. If I want to learn Spanish, which I do, I can't say. I've been watching some cooking shows lately, and they make food in Europe that's just out of it's crazy. It's just different, right? And I want to experience those things, and I want to go to Morocco, and I want to go here and there in Spain, and I want to go to France and eat stinking baguettes and drink coffee or whatever the heck they do, not smoke cigarettes. So I want to go to these countries, but I was watching some Spanish-speaking country, and the food was so amazing, and I'm like, I should just buy a little shack on the beach over there and move to this beautiful coastal town. And I'm like, I would have to learn Spanish. So I'm like, maybe I should learn Spanish. I'm not actually moving to a beach on a coastal town in some other country, but I don't have to believe that I'm limited to speaking just English. I could learn Spanish, French, German. I could go to all the countries and learn all those languages. I'm too old or too young to learn or change. Social media, all these new tools, AI, I'm too old to get that. No, you're not. You are too full of excuses. You've put a self-imposed limitation on yourself. You're never too old or too young to do anything. Obviously, possibly physically, you can't do things if you're too old at certain things. It's just the way I am. Well, if you don't like it, then change it, right? Don't put a self-imposed limitation. I can't run 3 miles because my spine will go cold. That's a lie. That's a lie that I told myself. It wasn't even backed by doctors or anything substantial. It's just an excuse that I made up at 15 years old, and I've ridden that excuse for 30 years to the point now where I finally have become not morbidly obese, and I do things today as a almost 4-year-old more so because I don't want to, because it will bear fruit that I do want in life, right? Do the things you don't want to do to have the things you do want to have. Right? So that's called discipline. Remove self-imposed limitations, add discipline in your life, and you will flourish. I promise you. Life is much better on this side of the world than the excuse creation, self-imposed limitation world. I need to follow a traditional path. What is traditional path anymore anyways? It's so changing. Our world changes so stinking fast. There's nothing traditional. Well, it's what my parents want. Well, I can appreciate that respect, but did you think about that when you disrespected your parents yesterday when they asked you to do something and you didn't do it? So if you're going to do what your parents tell you, then do what your parents tell you. But also, perhaps that's not the path for you, right? Perhaps that's not necessarily what you should be doing. Don't put a limitation on yourself because you want to follow the traditional go to school, get a good education, go to college, get a degree, and get a good job and work there forever path, right? I think that's probably the traditional path they're saying. Feeling like there's a correct route in life, such as specific career path, education choice. Well, my whole family are all doctors. Well, if you want to be what do you want to be? Basketball player? No. Whatever you want to be, not a doctor. If you want to be an accountant, great, go be an accountant. Like, you don't have to do what your parents, what your family does. Don't follow the traditional path. That is a limitation. If you know what God's calling you to do, if you know what your gifting is in life, then go follow it. If you don't know, get with someone who can help pull it out of you and figure it out. And chart your own path. Create your own path. Don't have to do anything because somebody else told you to. That's a limiting belief. I'm not ready yet. I need more time to prepare. No, you don't. You think you do, but you don't, right? If you don't know how to swim, jump in the pool. Figure it out. It's scary. The reason that you are not ready yet is because you don't want to confront your fear, right? So kill the fear. Stand on the Word of God or whatever source of truth that you believe in. And do the thing. Do the hard things. Do the hard things. I want to get a shirt. I'm going to get a shirt and have it in every stinging video. Do the hard thing. When you have an option between the easy or the hard thing is probably going to give you the results you want. I don't care if you're not ready. It's time to go, baby. Let's go. It's game time. I need more time to prepare. As a perfectionist, as a spreadsheet guy, as an operations systems efficiency guy, I hate inefficiency, but I also hate the results of not being disciplined. So if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, do the thing and become prepared along the way, right? Jump off the cliff and then figure out how you're going to fly. So I shouldn't ask for help. That is a lie from the pit of hell. I shouldn't ask for help. Oh my gosh, people who know things love telling other people how to do that thing. It makes you feel good as a human being to pour into someone else, whether they have a good attitude about it or not. Feeling that you need to do everything on your own can lead to burnout, missed opportunities for collaboration, fear of vulnerability. Yeah, that's a pride thing. That's a self-doubt, self-worth problem that ultimately you need to seek your creator and work with that. I say that with knowledge because that's me. As much as confident as I am in many, many, many things, I still have self-imposed limitations and self-doubt due to various things, right? So we all have it. It's okay. You can ask for help. And furthermore, the key to success in life is asking for help. Go be the dumbest person in the room. If you're in a room with a bunch of people and you're the smartest person, go to another room and learn from somebody. Sit at their feet, follow them around, serve them, do what they ask you to do, learn from them, apprentice. Like, be the humble servant until you are the master, right? So that's ask for help. Learn how to ask good questions. Don't get a good education, go to college. Learn how to ask good questions and then get around successful people and ask those questions. And I promise you, your life will be so much better. Oh my gosh. I'm not trying to tell you to be self-employed entrepreneur like I am, but I cannot tell you how much better my life is because I learned to ask good questions of smart people. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I never saw it that way. And then you do research and you study and you learn how to do things better and more efficiently and bigger and like having more impact and helping more people. It all started because I asked people questions. It's not because I went to college. It's not because I learned it on my own. I'm not that good. I ask questions, and then you do something, and then you run into failure, and you start asking yourself questions. Why did that fail? How could I do it better? And then you go find people who do those things. Always be willing. Like, if there's anything you ever want to know about sports cards or marketing or what else do I know? Those are like my two things. I know a lot about a lot, but sports cards and marketing, I could sit with you for hours and hours and hours and hours. I can come up with ideas for your business that you probably never thought of. I would love for you to ask me for help, and I would love to help you because it makes me feel good that I'm pouring into you, right? So don't worry about asking for help. What if people think I fail? Failure is the key to success. You will not succeed without failure. Get over it, accept it, and do it. Fail more, win more. That's how it works. Now, don't keep hitting your head against the brick wall. Repeatedly say, hey, maybe there's another way to do this besides hitting my head against the wall, and change the way you do things. You will not fail forever if you are willing to fail. I have to stick to my comfort zone. No, you do not. Do I have my book with me? I'm going to give a random shout out plug for a book from my pastor that I'm reading and trying to live. Comfort Zone. This book is called Fat, Broke, and Crazy. Rediscovering the fruit of self-control. There are 9 spiritual fruits. I'm not going to get into it. Self-control is the last one in the list and the most important in my mind, the one that I've been missing the most in life. My comfort zone is coveted. I covet my own comfort zone. I do things to be comfortable. Used to do things to be comfortable. Nowadays, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I do cold plunges and I work out even though I don't want to, and I eat things I don't necessarily want. I don't eat things I do want to. If it's in my comfort zone, I am quick to get out of it because that is not where success happens. Avoiding discomfort stifles growth. By staying on your current comfort zone, you miss out on potential breakthroughs, new networks, and the resilience that comes from tackling challenges. Resilience. There are scriptures about that I hang to like a booger that won't let go. I love reading scriptures that talk about resilience. You get in the fire and you do the hard thing and you just, like you think about any war movie, 300, any of these movies where the people are just like, charge the hill. That's not my nature. But getting out of my comfort zone is an important thing in life. So I embrace that and I'm like, yeah, let's try. Oh my gosh, why are we doing this? And then you figure it out along the way. And I must always be strong and never show vulnerability. That is a lie as well. Be vulnerable, be humble, have honor, serve others. It's okay to be weak and broken. We all are. You don't have to pretend like you're not. So, self-imposed limitations. What are yours? Figure them out, kill them, and replace them with something else. Use words. Your thoughts turn into words. You have thoughts. Use them as words to tell yourself how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how funny you are, how much of a server you are, all the wonderful things, all the blessings you have in life. I'm a good father. I'm a good husband. I'm a good brother. I'm a good son. I'm a good Christ believer. I serve the church. Like all of these things. Remove self-imposed limitations. You are a world conqueror. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Mind turns into words. Words will create your destiny ultimately, and I'm excited to see it. So if you're watching this, still, just because it's fancy, I can hit this button, come back here. I believe in you. I hope you believe in yourself. I hope that you take a minute to just stop and look over your life and figure out where you have put self-imposed limitations in your life and destroy them. Get rid of them, pray over them, repent that you ever had them in the first place, and tell yourself, commit to your God that you will be better, that you are better, that you accept the gift of life that God has given you, and that all things are possible through Christ who strengthens us. Again, that's me as a believer. If you don't believe that, I would encourage you to believe it, but if you don't, figure out where your source of strength is and go to it. Remove all your bad thoughts, your bad words, your bad limitations, replace them with good words, good thoughts, and just expectations, right? The opposite of limitations is expectations. Expect the best. Do the work to get there. Be willing to fail. Don't be perfect. Let me go through these. Kill perfectionism. Learn a new skill. You're not too young or old. You are just perfect where you are. It's just the way I am. Change the way you are. You need to follow the traditional path, maybe, but maybe not. It's okay to go off the path. Create your own path. You're not ready. You never will be ready. I promise you, you'll never be ready. Just do it. You can prepare over time. You can iterate. It's called changing the game, right? You do something, it doesn't work, try it again. Try, fail, adjust. Right? You're never going to be ready. Now is the time. You shouldn't ask for help. Exactly opposite. People who have help to give love giving it. So go ask them. Learn to ask good questions. What if people think I fail? Great. Join the club. We all fail. We are all failures. Some people just talk about it and others don't. Right? So everybody's social media is so terrible about showing, oh, I love life. My family's such a blessing. Life is so good. Meanwhile, in the background, their kids are screaming, cutting off toes, running into the wall, throwing food. Like, there's failure all around us. Failure will happen. It's what you do in the face of failure that is important. I have to stick to my comfort zone. Nay, get rid of your comfort zone. Fat, Broke, and Crazy. It's about a world where people are unwilling to eat right, exercise, that's the fat part, broke, do good things with their money. They live in their comfort zone and they get things with their money to make them feel good. No, kill that. And crazy, the mental state of America. There are more anxious and depressed people than ever before. It's the leading cause of death. It's awful. It's an attack. And I rebuke it in the name of Jesus in my life. And I pray that you would also choose to not be fat, broke, and crazy. Be healthy, abundantly blessed with money, and of sound mind, right? That's the opposite of fat, broke, and crazy. And all of those things are possible if you just decide to kill yourself, impose limitations, and choose victory in life. So if you have any questions, if you have any, I don't know, if just kill the 3-mile cold spine limitation in your life, and I promise you it'll be better. So happy Wednesday. I'm going to go do some work, and hope you have a blessed day.